Oh,
Did it do anything? Oh, it
it's
is.
recording.
It's recording.
Welcome everyone to episode 1 of the Meet Me at the Coffee Pot podcast. I have to go. Hold on. What?
What an intro. What an intro.
What if, like, in the shadows, you just see, like, fighting?
I would like them to set up the light so that we see both of the shadows, like full brawl, like Peter Pan shadow style.
I hope they script it. And it's, like, coordinated and it looks great.
I don't want to see a fight unless there's kicks involved. Kicks make the fight.
All right, do you want me to start it or not?
No,
Dude, right.
that's what editing's for. You just cut it out.
Dude, I am not editing this. First of all, I don't know how. Second of all,
It's 2020. Okay, computers have been around since the 80s.
listen, I could probably learn, but I don't know how. Right?
It's easy. It's literally a slider. You just slide where you want to start.
And then put that part in the trash can. There's probably a picture of a trash can somewhere.
Yeah,
and
but
put that
does
part in there.
Zoom have that feature? Probably
No,
not.
Zoom's
No, you're gonna record. You're gonna have a video.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
or an
upload it to
MP3.
YouTube. No, it's an MP4,
Oh, okay.
and I was gonna upload it to YouTube.
Wait, is it just recording your face or all our faces?
It's the screen, so it's 3 of us. It's whatever I want. If I take you guys away, it's just me.
Why would you do that?
I wouldn't, but in case it gets. Oh, you guys get out of line.
All right,
You
so you're in the break room with the Coffee Pot crew. Meet me at the Coffee Pot live every week at 9 p.m. Thursday nights.
We could use YouTube. That didn't make sense. We could use YouTube, and then we could do live episodes, and then
I didn't like how uneventful your intro was.
yeah,
Wow, it's probably boring.
I look like I'm wearing lipstick. I think we could do it live on YouTube, and then no one would actually do this, but in theory, we could be like, we're going live at 8, and then people could like call in.
But what about my pride?
Well-
Because when we do that, we'll start that, and then when we have 0 viewers, that will hurt my pride.
We'll obviously arrange it beforehand so that like
That's
someone
true.
we know.
Hi,
will
Mrs.
call in.
Herrick.
Yeah. She listened to every one of my old podcast episodes.
So did we.
Hi. You're welcome. That's why you had 3 listens.
Thanks, guys. One time, I think it was Matoyer. He was sitting in the parking lot at the OCAB, and he was like, before going to work, and he like heard my voice. He was like, "What the heck is going on?" And then Dusty was next. He parked next to him, and he was listening to my podcast. I thought that was cool. All right, you guys didn't think it was that cool. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, should we do introductions?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm Will, and this podcast came. Are we gonna tell the story?
We should probably do something.
All right, so we were on a submarine, right? And I stood a watch called Engine Room Upper Level, which happens to be the place where the coffee pot was for the engine room. And we used to meet at the coffee pot to waste time mostly and kill 8 hours of watch and just talk about nothing. And
We would also drink like 6 cups of coffee a day, so
yeah,
that wasn't
just
good.
Disgusting amounts of coffee for no reason other than boredom.
And it wasn't good coffee.
That
No,
was not good
I actually
coffee.
kind of started liking it though because it was like so gross.
I like the way I felt.
You took caffeine
wired.
pills.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
chemically regulated.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
different.
you take caffeine pills to wake up, and then you take sleeping pills to go to sleep, and that way time is never your master.
Oh, so you're in control.
No, the pills were.
Oh, just not time.
Yeah, definitely not.
But anyway,
I
that's
wouldn't
how
say
this.
I had a caffeine addiction, but if I didn't have coffee, I definitely developed like headaches, and it was pretty rough.
I had to like. Jamie had to like. She would buy a half calf, and then she would mix it with regular coffee, and like. And then when we got back, I would drink like 3/4 strength, and then I would just slowly like dwindle back down to like.
Would that make it 3/4 strength or 1.5 strength?
That's a good question, but I'm pretty sure that would make it 3/4 strength.
No
And then-
way.
We'll agree to disagree on that one. I think your math is off.
I don't know.
Anyway, I have to like come back down, but I think I'm still addicted to it. But it doesn't really like caffeine. If I'm like tired and I drink it, it doesn't wake me up. But it's like if I don't drink it at all, I'll feel like I get a headache. So it's like the word. It's really stupid.
Yeah, I drink at least a cup of coffee every day, or else I get a headache at noon-ish.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, right around there, it gets me.
I'm still on the pills.
You still popping pills? I was just
I'm
gonna
still
ask.
popping pills.
Why? Just go sleep. Just sleep more.
Oh, not sleeping pills, caffeine pills in the morning.
Yeah, just sleep more, and then you won't need to take pills to be awake.
Dude, so the pathetic thing is, I go to bed like at 9:30,
Dude,
and
so
I wake up like at 6, like a reasonable adult, and I'm just like tired in the morning. Well, why do you drink coffee in the morning? It's the same thing.
I'm still in the Navy, so I still go to bed like at 11 for no reason, and then wake up at 4.
Dude, when the clock gets 9 p.m., I'm like stressing out if I like don't have my lunch going, and I'm like setting everything out for the next day because I just get up too early to. I don't know. I haven't seen 10 p.m. in like weeks.
Can't you just grill a fish? You have millions of them.
Yeah.
It's probably frowned
Yeah.
upon. There are actually like there's just okay. So the fish are all outside in these raceways, right? There's big, long concrete things.
You have racing fish?
Just listen. The raceways are connected by underground piping, right? So the water comes in and it flows through the raceways where all the fish are, and then it flows out, and then it goes through pipes, and then it goes to the next raceway. Okay, it's a really stupid design, and I can explain why later. I'm sure it'll come up, but there's these like fish escape when they're like really little. They'll like slither through the holes and they'll like get through, and then they turn into these like massive fish that are just like unaccounted for, and they're just like stuck underground in between the places, you know? Yes.
If they're in a pool and they're only connected by tubes, where are they escaping from?
They're escaping out of the raceways, and they're getting in the in-between water but that connects raceways, because the raceways are like, you know, yards apart from each other, or one of them's like on a hill and then it goes down all the way to the other side down another hill, so they're like 30 yards apart, and they live in there. And they pulled out the other day, a 5 3/4 pound rainbow trout that was living underground in these pipes.
You should
What?
provide context, like why you're working with fish that swim through pipes.
Oh yeah.
No way, dude. If the audience can't catch on to Dub is a fish breeder,
I don't even know what Dub does.
Here's the deal. My mom knows what I do, and she's the only one watching, so it doesn't really matter. No.
I don't know what you do. All I know is you drive big trucks that shoot fish out of them. But
There's boaters going back.
yeah, you just have like a truck with a fish trap.
Okay, so I work for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, which is in the Department of the Interior, and I work at a fish hatchery that is there. What? I work at a fish hatchery that raises fish to stock on tribal land. That's what I do.
you're stocking tribal land.
Yes.
Classic.
I'm a
Classic
fish
America.
culturist. And we raise.
What do you know about fish? What do you know about fish culture?
Hold on. A lot, by the way. A lot. So much. We raise the endangered Apache trout, which is endemic to Arizona. Rios probably knows that because he loves Arizona, so he probably knows its native fishes. And not only that, it's endemic to the White Mountains of Arizona, and they're endangered, and we raise those mostly. It's called the Apache trout.
I went catfishing in the White Mountains of Arizona one time.
Really?
I think so. I was a kid. I didn't catch anything.
Did you go noodling?
No. I don't like fish, like, not biting my arm.
I would go noodling, but I would be afraid like a snapping turtle would bite me. Because then you're like, I don't know what you do. You're super screwed.
What's the status
Snapping
of
turtles are
snapping
native
turtles?
only to Georgia.
No, they're
and
not.
Louisiana.
No, they're not.
Not the deserts of Arizona.
I'm not saying they're here, but I'm saying they're in Indiana. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
There's snapping turtles in Indiana.
Yeah.
Oh, Indiana's a horrible place.
And with a fishing license, you can harvest them.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Turtles are not fish. So
It's true.
Also,
What-
why is the Department of the Interior? That really bothered me. That did not sit well with me.
What do you mean?
that's what I was laughing at. The interior of what?
The Department of the Interior?
That's what it's called, dude.
You're outside.
It's the interior of the country.
Every department in the country is the Department of the Interior. Then.
Dude, tell that to the DOD, man. They're like trying to find oil all over the place, starting up wars and stuff. Hold on.
Well, except for the DOD, that doesn't count. We go other places, but every other department is the Department of the Interior. That's just dumb. It's a dumb name.
Guess what, dude? I didn't name it. It was probably named a long time ago. And if you type it in to Google, it says it stands for Digital Object Identifier. So who really knows at this point?
You think it was named back when the only options were interior and exterior? It's like, well,
What are the other options now?
The Department of Defense.
I just want to be at the board meeting where the guy proposed this new thing, this new department, and he was like, yeah, it's going to be the Department of the Interior. And everyone raised their hand and said yes.
Here's the thing, dude.
And then wait, first he said, look, this is the Department of the Interior, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna grow fish for reservations. They're like, yeah,
I'm in.
count me in. Yeah.
The Department of the Interior was formed on March 3rd, 1849. So you'd have to ask those guys.
1840s.
That's before the United States was founded.
That's not true. And it was 171 years ago. So, I don't
Which
know, but
state? It was definitely before Arizona was funded.
yeah,
That was 1912.
75% of federal public land is managed by the Department of the Interior.
What about the other
1912?
25%?
That's when Arizona became a state?
Yeah.
It's like right before the Great Depression.
Not right before, but like 18-ish years before, yeah.
That can't be right.
It was October of 1929 when it all went down.
Yeah.
Arizona
true.
wasn't a state until 1912?
Yep. It's Googleable.
I won't Google. I'll trust you. I don't like Googling stuff. I feel like it ruins bar talk and thinking about things. Like, why can't we just ponder about it?
That's
'Cause we
true,
can
but I
just
just
know
want
the
to say
truth.
one. You're right. That's a good point. But I looked it up, and I want to tell you one more thing. In the Department of the Interior, the National Park Service, so like all the national parks are part of it. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, that's who I work for. The Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Bureau of Land Management, the U.S. Geological Survey, and a bunch of other weird stuff. But just to give you a picture of.
Hey, Deb, I have a question.
Yeah.
You think they'll let you live on the other side of town if you tell them you're from Indiana?
No.
I thought for sure that would work.
Yeah, I don't think you can look like me. I don't think
Oh.
that's what the problem would be. It's a giveaway. It's just a giveaway.
Think so? Maybe if you shave.
Maybe, dude. I probably have a wicked tan line.
Hey, are you
because-
sad that if the NBA does come back, your boy isn't playing? Does that make you sad? I saw that today, and I was like, I wonder if Dub's sad.
Who's your boy? PG?
Big
No, dude. Victor Oladipo.
boy Victor Oladipo.
Oh, why not? He's being a scrub or what?
His ankle hurts or something.
It's his knee.
Oh,
His knee hurts.
oh city,
said-
said I.
So he's not going to the bubble.
Yeah, I'm sad.
Neither-
My
Neither is
friend
Kyrie,
Gene-
I heard.
Yeah,
I thought,
he's trying to find the edge of the earth. My friend Gene he asked me the other day, he was like, what is your concern level if Victor doesn't play? And I said, my level of concern of the Pacers' chances of, and he said, yes. And then the next day, he didn't play. I'm concerned.
Well,
Do you
first
think-
of all, to that I say, Dub, get better internet because you cut out and I didn't even know what your concern is.
Can you hear me?
Now,
Now we
yeah.
can.
I'm sad Victor's not playing. That was it. I didn't really need to say all the other stuff.
Is Gene sad too? Did I get some of that?
Probably. Yeah.
So
Here's the thing. I've
Does
never
it
met
matter?
Gene Merriman. Shout out Gene. I've never met him, but I just assume we're friends.
You guys would get along. Reels has met Gene.
I met Gene.
Yeah.
Do you think so? If sports do come back and they do all these weird league/tournament bubble things that they're doing, do you think like forever in like the history books there's gonna be a little asterisk next to like, oh, they won the Bubble Dome games instead of like the NBA Finals that year?
In the beginning, I didn't think so. Because it was like, it's weird, but it's like this level playing field, and everyone's going to get back on track, and it's just going to be like this awesome mad dash. And now that it's like slowly unraveling, it kind of feels like it's getting more asterisky as we go. You know?
What about baseball?
I don't want the opposite
Yeah.
to happen.
We'll
Like the
see.
weird 60-game season.
We'll see. Baseball players this week already started bailing, so
That's true.
we'll see how bad it gets when push comes to shove. I don't know.
Not that like baseball players are not justified in like not wanting to play, but here's the thing. Baseball is like the most unathletic sport out there. You kind of just you stand 10 feet apart from everyone.
Yeah, that's true. They don't even touch each other.
Don't get me wrong, I love baseball. I'm all for it, but like if you're like, I'm not
Most
going.
of the plays, like if a dude hits a pop fly, the like outfielder can sanitize his hands, catch the ball, throw it, and then sanitize his hands again before anything else happens.
I know what you mean, but it's not. I'm sure it's not the actual on-field issue.
Well, there's
It's
not going to
like,
be a crowd either.
there's
way.
not going to be a bubble, so like you're still traveling. You're getting on planes. You're staying in hotels. I'm sure that's what the problem is.
And the MLB needs to have a season. They're dying.
No,
They
they're
either
not.
need to have a season
They're not dying.
or let steroids back next year.
The MLB is not dying.
The MLB's been dying. The MLB's been dying since they banned steroids.
No, it hasn't. The MLB is not
So
dying,
long.
dude.
It's dying.
People, I listen to the Sports Talk radio show.
They
every
did the cool baseballs the last
right,
couple seasons
and
where everyone hits more
This
home
guy
runs.
does a
That-
segment about this, about people saying how it's dying, and he brought up a newspaper article from like 1912 that was like Major League
That's when
Baseball.
Arizona was founded.
Maybe that's
True.
why it was in my head, but it was the early 1900s, and it was like this whole long thing about how baseball's dying and it's not America's sport anymore. And that was over 100 years ago. Baseball's fine. I mean, it's not fine because of like right now, but it's like
No, it's gonna die.
no,
so-
it's not.
Is it? Yes, it is.
What makes you say
I-
that? It's
I don't
the
think
most
so.
attended sport in the country every year and has been forever. It's fine.
That's because like total
Yeah.
or by percentage of stadium filled.
No, by total.
So I told her because they have infinity more games.
I know, but people are going.
Like if football had 160 games,
I
people
agree.
would show and football would be the most attended.
No, I totally agree with you, but it's like
It's like you're comparing. I don't even know what you're comparing, but it doesn't make sense.
they're still going. There's still interest. It's like you can have 162 games and people are still going. That's kind of
No.
they're fine.
If you look at like they do a panoramic view of a crowd during like game 78, there's like 40 people there.
Yeah, dude. And like for a bad team, right? In Camden Yards where the Orioles play, but dude, Dodger
Yeah,
Stadium
the Pirates.
Dodger Stadium sells out every single game.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's LA. There's like LA's gonna sell it no matter what. LA was selling out Charger Stadium. I mean, granted it was a
held
soccer
30 people.
field and yeah, but they had more people there than they had in San Diego.
Yeah, I know, but dude, it's like if you went back to some Wednesday night game in the middle of July at 10 p.m. At some random baseball game, and you went around the stadium, it would probably look mostly empty. It's just like that's how it is.
Yeah, you will not see. The Jaguars versus Jets game fills up like
Yeah, I know. It's because they play
on a
16
Thursday
games.
night.
Dude,
Exactly.
the NFL was more popular. I'm not going to argue that. I'm just saying baseball's not dying.
Baseball's gonna die. It's so boring.
It's not boring.
They either gotta juice the balls again or juice the players. Or both.
I disagree.
The balls are juiced.
Yeah, the balls are juiced.
Last couple seasons. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
They gotta keep that going, or they gotta juice the players again.
You ever go to the Juice Ball Twitter account? It documents all the juice balls and like these like bad swing. So people will take like these out of position like bad lunging swings and it'll just like go for a home
Blast them.
run and it like confuses them and they're like, oh, all right, yeah, yeah, it's funny.
You know who swings like that? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But he
His
swings
dad was.
so hard.
I saw.
Hey, he's just a power, dude. It doesn't matter if he makes contact. That thing's flying.
I'll
I
never
know.
forget this.
It's incredible.
I was watching a game live when Vladimir Guerrero, he hit a ball that had bounced off the dirt and then back up into the strike zone, and he hit it for the double.
That
He was
count?
crazy. Hold on, I have to
Is that
pause.
allowed?
I have to pause the video, but it'll still work. I know how to do this, so there we go. So
You didn't say one.
yeah, no, it was like the implied one, so it's like nothing happened.
You have to do that. Yeah. Good podcast. It's a good thing
Hey.
we're recording because we'd be really bad podcasters.
You
so
guys
can't
should
see us.
tell about yourselves because I know that you work for Jeff Bezos and that you wear a purple hard hat, but that's all I know.
Yeah,
It's not
JBZ's.
purple. Oh, it's purple.
Why not? Didn't they used to be purple? Is that a banger?
It's just
thing?
in banger, apparently.
What color is yours?
Mine, dark blue, like navy blue.
Is it at least unique to your shop?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
No.
Oh.
All of NRMD has it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But
are
in
you
an effort to-
105.3?
Yeah.
Okay.
in an effort to look different, we have little skull and crossbone like football helmet stickers that we get if we do something good.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we do.
That's
so
so
cool.
cool, dude.
Mine says like Rios, and then I have two. I only have two because
What'd you do that was good
I'm
to
not
do it?
good at my job.
What did you get it for? Did you stand control point super good?
No, just spill response. I went in like full NIC with like a respirator into a slow leak that they had.
So was it a spill response or a spill?
Mr.
response?
Saver.
It was
Yeah.
steam coming out. It was like
Did you check the maintenance warning?
it was a primary valve shooting steam out. It's pretty cool.
That sounds bad.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
Not
it
that
was
I
like,
don't want to hear the story, but how much are you allowed to say
I don't know.
when you think about like secret rules and stuff?
I have no idea.
Dude, no, you're
There's
good.
no rules. I
You're
think
good.
there's no rules. If I can say like the primary and the secondary and stuff like that for sure.
Dude, you can say everything except like this is the operating temperature. You know what I
But
mean? Because it's all on Wikipedia. The SAG
Yeah, for
reactor,
sure.
you can look up everything except like the exact details.
Yeah, but it was from like where the pressurizer is. It was unisolable. It was pretty cool. They had to just
That's-
like cool down and just like wait for it to stop steaming. That's why like it happened like on a Friday or something. We didn't go into like Monday.
That's crazy.
On
Was
a
it
boat?
actually
On
a
a real
lot of
boat?
water?
Yeah. There was water in the bilge, but nothing crazy.
Was it hot?
Oh, it was the hottest place in the world. I came out. I was wearing a respirator, full NICs on top of my uniform, and I came out drenched. Disgusting.
Dude, did you check your E EPD?
Oh, I check my EPD frequently when in hydration.
Oh, dude, that's good. I was worried about that. I didn't want you to forget that.
What I do.
Okay, so what do you do, Barry?
I work for JBZ's, Amazon, and in a data center. So there's a giant room with a bunch of servers. I don't know what they do.
Do they have the like metal fins on the back, like the reactor instrumentation?
I don't think so.
You know where you climb in when you're cold?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like I like that.
And what I do is for the building, I put in jobs for electrical and mechanical maintenance, and then a contractor comes and does it, and I just watch him.
Oh man,
You're doing great, buddy.
good job, man. That's cool. Is it good? Do you like it so far? You just started, right?
I've been working from home, to be honest. So
Oh.
You just do a Zoom meeting? Do you like
I-
FaceTime the contractor?
I put in a couple of work packages, and like I've never seen this stuff before. So
You're in his
Send it.
phone. You're like, all right, listen, I gotta watch you. You're like, don't put me down. Stop! Don't put me down.
Don't you dare!
Actually, this week I spent at a site, undisclosed site, and I was just shadowing some dude and
How much are
just
you
watching.
allowed to say? I feel
Was it
like you're
Bezos' house?
way more secret than what I'm doing.
Oh, dude, it really is. It's kind of like
Is it really?
it's significantly easier to get on a submarine than it is to get in one of these buildings.
Okay, hold on. Is it the data center?
Well,
like,
that's not.
like what data? Is it like this guy ordered the package there, or is it like different?
No, it's different. It's like
I feel like Barry can mess around and just know all of my credit card numbers and everything, and just ruin my life.
right, like so like if like a hospital has people's medical records and they don't want to keep paper records anymore, so they have to transfer it all to digital.
The cloud.
Like they would need a cloud. So yeah, so Amazon provides a cloud service.
So you work in the cloud?
You work in the cloud.
I work in the cloud.
No.
That's crazy, dude.
No,
When I hit record on this, it said record to this computer or record to the cloud.
Yeah,
So I could have
Barry,
just sent it
get
straight
us some
to
cloud
you.
space. How
Yeah,
much-
dude, throw us a bone, dude. Get us some cloud space.
I'm getting.
What's
Hold
the
on, let me
cloud
get it.
Come on, dude.
Okay. That's
So-
cool. How do you work from home? I mean, do you just
Clouds everywhere.
So I don't actually know how the cloud works. Like that's a whole different team of people. But I know how to.
no,
I know how
no one
electricity
actually knows how
works.
the cloud
you
works.
can't they
Actually-
don't want you knowing too much, dude.
Yeah, I actually don't know how electricity works, but they trust me with it.
Right.
So all the jobs I put in are for electricity, HVAC, or just general building maintenance.
So when you get to go to work, for real, are you gonna like danger tag some stuff and rack out breakers?
No
No,
one uses breakers when they
I'm gonna
Okay,
put
are
up-
you
I'm
gonna
gonna put-
like
I'm gonna put in a
put
job,
wires together?
and then someone else is gonna do it.
Okay, so you're never gonna have to do anything.
Not at this place, no.
Okay. That's
I know. I'm not getting any better.
well, it's a
That's
job.
fine.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
There's Rios, so
Yeah, my job is literally to watch people work, which is kind of annoying because I don't get to push any work. So I literally like
you just
I sit around, and I'm very good at hearts. I'm decent at spades, and I do that until someone shows up and says, "Hey, we're ready to work," and I'm like, "Fine."
dude, is
I've
there a
been here for
euchre
hours.
circle?
Dude, no one plays euchre here. It's really annoying because I'm also very good at euchre.
You got to start it, dude. No one played on the good old USS Nevada, and then Brown and Chief Alvis and
Schlub.
someone else. Who?
Rudy.
Shelby Reed.
Oh yeah, Rudy. We started spreading it. Dude, we should get him as a guest.
Rudy?
Shelby. That'd be funny.
We should get everyone as a guest. Bosaley
Yeah.
lives right down the road, dude.
Where's Bosa live?
From you?
He lives in Phoenix.
So hot there.
Yeah, it's.
How far is Phoenix? How far are you
It's
from
nice here.
civilization?
I mean, there's stores here.
Like, you have to like take a goat and trade it for
Nah,
vegetables and stuff.
they take money.
How is Williams Creek?
There's no like.
You have your own creek?
Okay, this is what happens. So buckle up. So the hatchery is on the Fort Apache Indian Reservation, and the White Mountain Apache Native Americans are the ones who get the fish, right? So there's a spring where water just bubbles up out of the ground, and it goes right into our hatchery, and we use all this spring water. We raise all the fish, and then it flows out of the hatchery through settling ponds. So all the junk will settle out, and then it goes through some piping, and then it dumps out on the other side of the road, and that becomes Williams Creek.
So,
So
just
it's
a
not
bunch
like
of, like
it's not like a
used
town.
water.
Yeah. It's actually a really bad design.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
Wait,
good.
so the general person that's not a member of whatever Apache tribe, I already forgot what you said.
White Mountain Apache.
White Mountain Apache can't even catch the fish that you're breeding.
They can. You just have to buy tribal permits, and then you are allowed to do that.
Oh.
But everything is super shut down right now on the reservation because they're getting it's really bad right now with the COVID-19 stuff. That they just passed last week. They passed a full lockdown over all last weekend, and now they're on mandatory stay-at-home orders. And they made a temporary jail out of the casino, and if you get caught being positive, they put you in there, and they're locking you in the room. You're not allowed to leave.
They
It's
force
crazy.
you to gamble.
I'm serious.
So they just
no,
like. I heard Arizona's bad right now.
it's really bad, and it's really really bad on the Navajo reservation and the Fort Apache reservation. It's really bad. It's like there's around 15,000 people who are part of the White Mountain Apache tribe, and like 1,800 of them have been positive, and testing's really really bad, and that's like, I mean, that's like 15-something% already, and that's just people who have even been able to get tested. It's super high. So long story short, people can go catch fish, but you have to buy separate fishing tribal permits, and right now it's closed.
And you have to stay out of the casino jail.
Maybe.
On
You know,
a similar
if I were going to go
topic,
to jail, I guess a casino would be all right.
they
Yeah,
got the
but
best jail.
all you're seeing is the inside of a hotel room.
Oh, you're gonna go gamble?
I don't think so.
It's not like the NBA bubble.
Yeah,
I feel like the NBA bubble hotel is gonna be a blast.
There's a 24-hour concierge at the casino. No, but it's bad down there. So hopefully, which sucks because I wanted to do. There's a museum down there, the Fort Apache Museum, and then there's like they do a tribal fair every summer, and then there's like everyone sells food out of the back of trucks down in the town called White River, which is like the headquarters of the reservation, and everything's shut down. So it's kind of
But we
lame.
love, like me and Marina, we love the whole Native American culture in Arizona.
Yeah,
It's sweet, like all the festivals and stuff they have.
yeah.
Really awesome. Just go experience it.
That's why it sucks that I haven't really been able to do any of it.
You know what really baffles me, or really I'm just really surprised, the lack of Latino community where you're at, dude.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
is
believe
like
there's no brown people.
it is white.
That's
and
really
it's-
interesting.
And it's mostly like I think it's older. It's older and very, very white. And very like Trump loving and conservative.
Well, yeah. Well, you said old and white, so.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Oh my gosh, there's a Trump store here that just sells like Trump merchandise, and they have like concerts for people who like him to come eat hot dogs. I don't know. I don't get it. To be honest, it's
The hot
bizarre.
dog's
But
good.
there's tons. If you walk around here, there's tons of like Trump flags and all sorts of stuff, and it is white.
That's
It's
weird.
No, it's really weird. This is why it's weird, okay? Because it's like, so I work on the reservation entirely, and I work with Native American people, and then it's like you cross the imaginary line where the reservation ends, and you're in a town called Pine Top, and all Pine Top is like gated communities on golf courses.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and there's really, really nice houses in there, but we've been house hunting, and I won't even look there because I'm not going to work on the reservation side by side with
live in
Native
Pine Top?
Americans every day, and then like be like, all right, see you later, and then like go home to my gated golf course.
Close the
Yeah.
gate.
Come on, Russ.
I can't do it. So we're not
Russ.
gonna. It's a weird dynamic, and I don't know.
Yeah, not to get political, but like
dude,
everything that's going
Dude,
on
it's
and
our
stuff.
podcast.
Oh, I'm so like anti-politics. But when they talk about like systemic racism, and
Oh,
like some
don't.
some people justify it, some people say it exists, some people say it doesn't. But like for Native Americans, it kind of does.
Dude.
Kind of,
There-
it full blown does for them.
It's like
My roommate in Alaska, okay, this guy named Joe. He's a young kid he's from Louisiana, and he had this like white privilege doesn't exist thing. And I was like, well, yeah, it does, right? And he was like, no, it doesn't. And I totally changed his mind 180 because I talked about Native Americans. Like, how can you tell me that like that doesn't exist? The fact that you're not born as a native, you're just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like if any, I mean, I'm not gonna take away from anyone else, but like Native Americans have one of the biggest points. Like they could just say, "Oh yeah, my systemic oppression started when all of my people got shoved into one plot of land." Like, oh yeah, well now you're stuck in Oklahoma. Like that's punishment enough.
Dude,
Like
Yeah.
Oklahoma's the worst.
and there's one reservation in Wyoming, and it's a big rectangle, and it has two tribes on it, the Northern Arapaho and the Eastern Shoshone. And historically, they hated each other, and they were enemies, and they'd been at war for 150 years, right? And now they're like, oh, you guys are all Indians, so here you go, right? So they jammed them all on the same plot of land, and the same thing happened here. The White Mountain Apache live on the north side, and the San Carlos Native Americans live on the south side, but they're all run together in this. If you look at a map, it's all one big chunk, and there's an imaginary line in between. And historically, they didn't like each other either. And it's just like
Yeah, if they would have liked each other, they'd be the same tribe. They probably would have been like, "Oh yeah, let's make one big tribe." It makes sense.
exactly. And they were just like, someone was walking around, I guess, being like, "You're an Indian, so you live here now." It's just like it's such a total disaster, and it's really sad, and it's really annoying, to be quite frank, to see so many like eager young white people. It's not annoying. I'll have to explain this because I don't want it to come out wrong. So eager to like fall all over themselves to be like the biggest ally for black people, which is like, that's not a bad thing, right? But like people could give a damn about Native Americans. And it's just like, where are all the young white people from central Indiana? Why aren't they all like getting in line to like try to be the biggest? Look at me, I'm the ally for the Native Americans. I don't understand. It doesn't
not
happen.
just Indiana, like the whole Midwest.
No, it's just, you know, I know people from back home, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like, well, why doesn't that exist? And why can you score more social points by feeling sorry for, even and not even helping? Why can you score more social points for feeling sorry for black people and not for just the oppressed? This is what people should be upset about, okay? They should be upset about economically oppressed and marginalized people across the board, no matter who it is. Yeah. And you shouldn't get to buy your way into the oppressed class that people are trying to help because of some skin color. You know what I mean? So like, if you're super, super economically depressed and the whole area sucks and you're white people, you should be lifted up. And the same thing for inner city black neighborhoods, and the same thing for Native American reservations. It's like,
I agree.
Raise the bottom, no matter who the bottom is, and give those people opportunity.
I agree. I think the opposing argument to that is that, like, if you have two people at the bottom, right, and one's black and one's white, and they're at the same social, you know, economic, in the same place economically, I think the white person's going to have higher chances of making it out than the black person.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, but
so I think the bottom is lower for people who are white.
I think you're right, but I'm saying if you actually take people who are actually even, right? Like, let's say a lower middle class black guy is equal to like a super, super really poor rural Appalachian mountain coal miner white guy, right? Like, because of the fact that the black guy has a harder time in life, it brings it like this. But like all the lowest of the people who don't have a chance, and that would be less white people, right? Because white people have more of a chance. It would be less. but like it doesn't. I wish we could give all the bottom the chance, and then everything would be better. And instead of just picking out like that oppressed class, that is the one we care about.
Yeah, look at people as numbers and not as races would probably be
just-
more helpful.
What sucks is you can't even really talk about this without like, oh, we're treading water.
Or about to
here.
get canceled.
Yeah,
It's a good thing all
it
your
just
mom's
sucks.
listening.
Yeah,
And
I don't know. I don't even know how we got
Yeah.
onto that, but I just wish that there was more. I wish the people who were like super energetically wanting to help could just
Take a history class.
take, I don't know, like see the forest for the trees type thing, like see the bigger picture of like.
I wish they would actually help instead of just sharing Facebook
Dude,
posts
that's
over
the
and
thing
over again.
too. I saw a
I think that
tweet.
helps more.
I saw a tweet by a black guy. I don't know who he was, but he was like, "We actually wanted to stop being murdered by police, so you guys can stop renaming stuff." Like, it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
like-
like the ESPN tweeted about the NFL how they're gonna play like climb every mountain or whatever.
Yeah, like it's just
Like,
like a lot of gestures.
Yeah, no one
And
cares.
some
like,
lady, I think she was a politician. She's like, really, you're just masking the fact that they're killing human beings.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
like
so. One of my issues with the movement is, with like all of the movements going on right now, is they're focusing on a lot of things that I think mostly detract from the main point, right? So the main point is, stop systematic oppression, stop police brutality towards minorities, kind of thing. Well, police brutality in general, right? Hold them more accountable than they are being held right now. And people are like going all these different directions with it. And I think when you take a point and you split it up into so many little points, it takes away from what you're actually trying to do. Like it's distracting.
well, the whole movement got co-opted by people right from the beginning, and that's why all that looting got so crazy out of control. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That wasn't, which is just the worst because those people who were going in and being destructive and looting and ruining and just hating and tearing down statues, they weren't actually helping out the people who started the whole thing in the first place. And then because it was also awful and it's still going on, that you lost the other half of the country because now they're not sympathetic to your cause because they're like, okay, you're just trying to rob a Target. It's really frustrating.
There's a little bit more to that. I think if you sit here and you say, I wish they were just peacefully protesting like they're supposed to, like they have been doing since Martin Luther King was a person, like the argument is, well, that obviously didn't work. So you probably have to do a little bit more than that too. If you're protesting and the people who you are protesting, who you are trying to change their mind, and they're like, yeah, this is the way I like you protesting, I don't think that's making a very good point. Like if they're comfortable with the way you're protesting, you're not making your point. I think you have to make those people uncomfortable.
I think that is a good point, but I think the large groups of, again, young white people like destroying public property in the name of destroying things because they're mad at capitalism. I'm not saying that like the Black Lives Matter thing had to be a peaceful protest, but I'm saying this other thing happened that took away from the movement because they just wanted to kind of see the world burn because it's like that's what they got off on. And I'm positive that a lot of people will now never listen to the original problem that the people were trying to address because they just see all the nonsense.
No, it's absolutely true. And especially like I see that a lot living in northern Florida / southern Georgia, which is, I live in it's a different place than where I used to be.
Yeah, I bet it is.
To put it one way.
Yeah.
I think after the NASCAR banned the Confederate flag and all that stuff happened, I've seen more of that flag
Oh, yeah.
everywhere. Oh, that flag's everywhere. I saw
not
a
surprising.
flag today at Walmart that was American flag transitioning into "Don't tread on me," transitioning into Confederate flag. It was pretty cool.
Oh
I
man,
was
that's
like,
great. Was it sticking on a flagpole in a truck?
yes,
There you go.
yeah, absolutely.
Dude,
I
nothing grinds my gears like the average person. It's like the general public. I'm like, ah, you suck.
on all sides,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Dude, I
Like
got
once
one more.
once people are gathered into a mob, I'm like, you're all stupid.
Yeah, no, I do see what you mean. But I got one more thing I want your opinion on, okay? So somebody close to me reached out to me and was like telling me how like much they support Black Lives Matter and like urging me in my life to go out and protest, right? Because I haven't attended a Black Lives Matter protest. I haven't. And
I'm not allowed to.
yeah, I bet. But hold on, I want your opinion because it's like I can't go outside, and I don't think it would be right for me to live right next to the golf courses and the gates, and work with Native Americans who are like systematically oppressed and having a really rough time down there, and then like go around the streets of the golf course place and with like telling everyone and scolding them that they don't care about Black lives enough when it's like my neighbors are Indians and struggling. And I didn't know how to express that. It wouldn't seem right to do that.
I think you expressed that very correctly. And
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, yeah, because even if you like, I don't know how your guys' Twitter feeds are, but if you scroll through mine, there's a lot of like, you know, it's split. Because I mean, I grew up in a very Hispanic community, obviously, and it's split between like there's like the, you know, Black Lives Matter people. There's the like, hey, also Latino lives. What about us? And then there's like the people who are like, this isn't about us. This is about Black lives. And other people are like, well, you know, our lives kind of suck too. You know, whatever. And there's like this huge like people saying that, you know, saying one or the other takes away from the other one. I think you could be, you know, pro. I obviously don't want to say all lives matter because that's not the right way of saying that. But I feel like you could, you know, be
pro individual group.
Yeah, you can be supporting more than one group at the same time.
It's just like, what if I walked around a really, really roughed up inner city Black community, and like it was my thing to march up and down the streets and like tell them about the struggles of the Native American. It's like, is it a good thing to try to bring awareness to an issue like that? Of course, but it's like that would not
wrong place, wrong time kind of thing.
Yeah, but if you say like, I'm not protesting for Black Lives Matter because it's wrong place, wrong time, like good luck saying that and trying to explain that to somebody. And I felt like I was on a bit of a spot, and I don't know, I didn't really like it.
Yeah, I feel like
It's because it's uncomfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with being uncomfortable. I'm fine with being uncomfortable. I didn't want to try to convince this person, so I just didn't. But anyway, that's how I felt about it.
How do you feel
I
about
didn't know how to express like my support for Black people, but kind of not my support for like protesting. Because like, do I believe that Black people got a raw deal somewhere in time in history? Absolutely. Do I believe that like a Black person can't like work really hard and make it in life? No way. I believe they can. But the thing that I would protest most is like there's definitely a difference in treatment to people of color, like Black people, brown people, whatever. And it's like that's what bothers me more.
Well, yeah, that's what a lot of the protesting is.
Yeah.
Just basic, you know, systemic oppression.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like,
I guess civility, civil rights.
Yeah, those things.
I think that one of the biggest issues is like if you look at a demographics map of any major city, there is like a line. I remember seeing one in Milwaukee once that was like, this is where the black people live. This is where the white people live. And there's no real line. If you went and drove it, you wouldn't know you passed the line, right? But it's like, it's there, and it's because it was planned that way, like way back in the day. And I think that is really one of the
Remember
biggest
when we were in
problems.
Milwaukee and we were like in the hood driving,
Yeah.
and then we like crossed the light and we were in Marquette, and it was like this really nice, like,
Dude,
that was
see-
crazy.
Same thing happens in Indianapolis. You go down a road called Capitol Avenue, which takes you through this gorgeous neighborhood with all these old homes, and every single one of them is different, and they're all big. And then you hit 38th Street, and it's just like different. And it's like that didn't happen by accident, right? And it's like I think that is what needs to be addressed too. It's like obviously police brutality and stuff is a problem, but I don't even know if people realize like the depth of how all this stuff comes to be. Like, why do black people and white people live in different neighborhoods? Like, how do we fix that? How do we integrate everyone? Or how do we allow people to integrate? And I don't really know the answer to that, but I don't think that people really talk about that much either.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that to someone, and I was like, I couldn't like find the words, like, and he was just like, well, what law is there that prohibits black people from succeeding in life? I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like they were given a raw deal in the beginning and they have to recover.
Yeah, they're at a like. I wouldn't say the other people have a head start. They just have a handicap. Like you're further behind at the beginning. It's like you're doing the straight part of the racetrack, and you're starting still at the separate lines.
I just hope that all this energy being put forward to it and all of this movement will actually produce something good. Because I'm not convinced that it will, but I really hope it does.
People gotta vote.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Dude, confession time. I've never voted in my life.
Are you going to vote
What-
this year?
Probably not.
I
But
actually
that's also why I never complain about the way things are.
Yeah, I have a friend. I was just talking about voting. He said he'd vote this year if I voted this year. Because I've never voted for president, but I voted twice. But well, I'm going to be honest with you. If I vote for president, it's not, I mean, it'll either be for the Libertarian candidate or it'll be
Vote for
like,
Joe.
yeah, no, I probably will. Or the Constitution Party, Daryl Castle.
I'm voting for Joe.
I probably will too.
Big Joe guy.
Big
Joe
I think that's what would be the most interesting about this year, is that this year might split the two-party system.
No, it won't. I wish it would, dude. I wish it would, but it won't. I so wish it would. What pisses me off about that is that everyone's like, a vote for, you know, if you don't vote for Hillary, then you voted for Donald Trump, even if you voted Libertarian. It's like, if all these idiots who say that just voted for who they actually wanted to win, there would literally be more than two parties. But it's this whole fear. It's this whole fear thing that won't let it actually emerge, but it exists. It's already there.
Yeah, Trump's never won a majority. He's never had more than 50% of the votes.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. I think, like, I don't know. I think it's crazy that, like, people who also, I don't know, people who, like, win the popular vote don't win. That blows my mind. I think that's crazy.
I
I mean, I get it. Here's the thing. If I lived where you lived, I'd be all about it. Right? But growing up in a city, it doesn't make sense. I don't think that your vote should be worth more than my vote because you live in a place where less people live.
Yeah, I get that argument.
You see that? Like, that's what I don't like.
Here's kind
That's
of
my
how I see
argument
it.
against that.
Here's how I kind of see it. And I don't know that I've ever said this out loud, so I don't know if it'll make sense. It's like this. It's like if you don't bias it a little bit towards the middle of the country people or the Wyoming people. Okay, everyone wants to talk about Wyoming because the electoral vote in Wyoming is worth more than any other state, right? You get like 3, but there's like 500,000 people. But it's like if you bias it towards those people, you will end up getting some of both. You get some of what those people want, you'll get some of what the giant cities and the coast want. But if you don't bias it with the Electoral College at all, it will forever and only be what the cities and coasts want. And so it's like they purposely skew it to be more powerful where there's less people and make it literally unfair that one person's vote was worth more than another, so that way you get some of both. That's kind of how I see it. You can tell me if that's dumb.
I think
No,
it makes sense.
It
I
makes
also don't
sense.
vote, so I don't care.
Hey. Yeah, it is the way it was designed to work. The problem is
I disagree with it.
it does leave it so that people who live in big cities, their vote matters less.
Yes, but
Their
big
vote is
cities,
worth less.
Not
I
if
don't know
they're
how-
united.
I don't know how you'd quantify it, but like big cities and the coast still get stuff their way, even though their vote is worth less because there's
think so?
way more people. Yeah, dude.
Because the presidential, like, the popular vote has gone Democratic like 6 out of the last 7 presidential elections.
Yeah.
And like Trump won, Bush won, Al Gore won the.
Yeah, but it's been in our lifetimes, it's what, even down the middle, we've had half Republican terms and half Democrat terms. I'm not arguing. I'm not going to try to argue and tell you it's fair. I'm just kind of like, I kind of get it. I kind of agree with it.
You're just like, well, but I live there, so I kind of need my.
No, it'll, if you don't do that, it's over forever.
I kind of agree with it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
What I don't understand, but I like that it exists, is like Iowa, where they have like a town meeting and like they do
caucus?
what is it called, like the caucus or something like that.
Yeah.
Caucus.
They like get together and like we're gonna vote in person. We're
Dude,
gonna
what's
figure
weird
this
about
out.
the
But
Iowa
Caucus
caucus?
was that's so horrible.
The Iowa caucus is the first, right? And so everyone gets all geeked up for it. There's all this news coverage and there's debates about it. Dude, the dude who wins that never wins the nomination. Pete Buttigieg won. He quit like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, but everyone gets so hyped up for it. It was such a big deal.
Yeah,
But it's
really
like a sporting event. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's just funny because like,
I like that we
Iowa
have
must have just picked that on purpose so that way like people will go there for like once every 4 years.
You have any guesses on the new Redskins mascot name?
I'm not confident at all they're going to change it.
You don't think so?
No.
I wasn't until FedEx and Nike both said you have to change it. That's a lot of money.
I think because of who owns them, Dan Snyder,
That side is the worst.
and how he has been on the issue, I'm not sure that they'll actually change it. If it was anyone else, I would be like, yeah, they're going to change it. But it's
I
like
don't actually know anyone that's offended by the Redskins logo.
I don't either. It's probably mostly white people being offended on other people's behalf, to be honest. That's kind of how it works. But it's like Dan Snyder's thing to like not change it. So that's why I don't think it will. I've seen a lot of talk. I've seen the Red Tails. I'm sure you've seen that, and that's actually really cool. Have you
I
seen
think
that
that'd
one?
be cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's like the
I'm
Tuskegee
Team Red
Airmen.
Tails,
Everyone would like that. That's cool.
except for Dan Snyder.
Yeah, he'd be really mad. He'd come out and be like, "This is a great day for the organization," and then he'd leave.
He's super upset about it.
He'd just like yell at a servant or whatever.
I would
Assuming
wonder,
billionaire
like,
owners have servants.
how do you think Indians would feel about it? It's like, are they, like, do you think they're represented or misrepresented?
Well, I can tell you the Washington Post, I think it was 2017, recently did a big, extensive survey of Native Americans and how they felt about it, and 90% didn't care or liked the name. But there's an argument to be made if like the 10% don't like it, is it worth changing? I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that, but I don't think they're gonna change it.
I just think the potential is there for a way cooler name.
Here's the deal, dude. The angry cancel stuff mob, next week something will happen, and then they'll just move on.
I love cancel culture.
Why?
What do you mean? It's hilarious. Like, it just every week it's just something crazy. Like,
It's
they
funny.
pull something out that something said, and like somebody said like in 1997.
It's funny,
when,
but I
like,
hate it.
it's a completely different time, and someone was like said something like mildly offensive back then that nowadays is like obviously like that person wouldn't say it now.
This is
It's
what I
funny
hate.
how
it's a
afraid
different
celebrities
time.
are.
Yeah, dude. They are. And this is what I hate about it, okay? I hate that it's all fake anyway. Because if the guy getting canceled is on your side, right, you just let it slide.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, this guy's
all
canceled from the
depends.
people who hated you anyway.
It all depends on how many fans you have.
So Jimmy Kimmel made it through his cancellation last week perfectly fine. Because the people who like him liked him. And the people who didn't like him dug through his stuff.
That's what I was telling. That's
and
what
they
I was saying earlier.
continued to not like him, and nothing changed.
The only thing that happens is the people who don't like you more, and that's it. That's like the only thing that happens. Like your fan base is your fan base. Like Joe Rogan, they try to cancel him. There's no way they're getting Joe Rogan.
They tried to cancel Dave Portnoy.
I saw that.
It's not happening.
That's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen, and it shouldn't.
That's not-
but
that's
it's
not-
just like, yeah, it's dumb.
Stoolies are a
dumb.
cult. They're not gonna cancel Portnoy. That's a cult.
Yeah.
Marina calls it my cult.
Really? Yeah, dude. It's
I was-
like,
I'm not even mad that you got me sucked into it.
what party do you consume? They have like 1,000 podcasts. I don't know.
Part of my take.
Okay.
The number one
I
sports
follow
podcast in the
Barstool
world.
on Twitter, and I didn't until Rios told me about it. And I think it's hilarious.
I don't follow any of them, but I go to Portnoy's just to like watch them rant about stuff and do the one by pizza reviews.
I do
Yeah,
like the pizza reviews.
I
I
love
have a weird
pizza
thing
reviews.
where I don't like following people. I like try to keep it at 100. I don't know why.
Is that why you're the only one that hasn't followed our At the Coffee Pot Twitter pages?
No, I try. Oh,
I
I
haven't
followed
followed it.
I followed it.
Oh, I tried to follow Dub because I saw we were only following me and Barry,
I'll do it right
and Dub has us blocked.
I think it's because it's private. When I started interviewing for real life jobs during college, I was like, I better make my Twitter private because I don't know.
You don't want to get canceled?
I mean, you follow me. I don't think I've ever said anything, but who knows?
I'm gonna cancel you.
Yeah, I definitely never post my real opinion on the internet.
No, you do under your burner account.
I should get a burner account.
You
Yeah,
don't have
I
a
can,
burner
right?
account?
I don't. I really should. Dude, because here's the thing,
I got a bunch.
and
Doesn't
I
Joel
say
Embiid
this-
do burner accounts?
What?
I say this with
Don't know.
complete confidence. And not like this is not even like narcissistic. I'm really funny.
Yeah. And you're a
And
good artist. And you don't share any of it.
Yeah, I really don't.
I know.
I like drawing fat people or
Some
fat
guy-
animals.
Some guy at work said, Rios, you should like start like do like comedy or like content and stuff. And I'm like, you only think I'm funny because we have a very specific like
Yeah.
you know like sense
This
of
wouldn't
humor.
sell to the public.
I'm like, yeah, that submarine joke I just made about like, like that's just us.
It's
Like,
awesome.
normal people don't laugh at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have a very niche crowd, but they love me.
Yeah.
Ah, what the heck? There's a wall here.
Been
I
there
just leaned
forever,
back
dude.
into that
It's
wall.
been behind you this whole stream.
I walked around when you put us on pause. So
Dude, I've been working from home, and I had an old chair that I just replaced for this fat boy video game chair. Like, this is specifically designed for a fat gamer. It's like the densest foam, and like it reclines.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's like
Do you
it's
game?
extra large. Huh?
Are you gaming?
No,
Aren't you playing FIFA?
no.
I play FIFA.
I
thought you
downloaded it and
got-
never started.
Oh, dude, play FIFA.
Play
I
FIFA.
should. Dude, so here's the thing. Like, I paid for a PS4 internet account every year in April, and I've not played online once ever in my life. And I
I
got
don't even
it.
play because I don't play online.
I've never
I got
played
it, so,
online
like,
ever.
You get free games. But I was like, dude, how about I just don't pay for the online? I just buy a game, like
Yeah,
a
you get the game
reasonable
you
adult.
want for money.
Yeah. And I'm just like, and it comes up every year in April, and I always forget for the past like 4 years.
That's how I got Amazon Prime, which I am glad I have it because I use it a lot. But like the first time I did it, I did like a free trial, and then I just forgot to cancel it, and I've had it ever since.
Amazon, a business for the people.
Yeah. Wait, is that the real slogan?
No.
Just make up
I
a
bought
slogan.
I bought it.
What is it? Is Amazon Amazon?
Dude, you gotta make us artwork.
It's 2-day shipping. Woo woo. I think that's
gotta-
the official slogan.
Dude, you gotta make us a logo for this here digital radio program.
Oh, baby. Oh. I haven't drawn in a minute, but I will.
I found for the Twitter, what the exact same
Model.
model that
I
was
saw.
in the engine room. I was really stoked, and it's like on a white background. It's actually perfect, so we can do that.
Dude, so I totally missed out during like the riot week, I guess, or whatever,
Riot
however
week.
many days that was,
Right,
because people were like boarding up their shops and stuff in LA, and people were going out and just like graffitiing the wood, and like no one cared, and I was like, dang.
Oh, dude, that was your
Yeah,
chance.
tagged up all the wood.
I know I could have gone out there, but like when I thought it was dangerous, which probably was. But like if I did like a George Floyd
strap
mural,
up,
no one would care. But if I did like a fat giraffe, people would probably be all upset about it.
I don't know. Why would they be upset about that?
I don't think they would.
Because at that point, it's not social justice; it's just graffiti.
Oh, they were all like
It's funny.
themed.
Yeah,
Shit,
I
like
guess
Kobe.
it
When
is.
people in LA love Kobe, I love Kobe.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
you
love Kobe.
could have done anything, Kobe. You would have been fine.
that's true.
You could done Mambasita, dude.
Dude, imagine if I did a fat Kobe. That'd be so funny.
Now that might piss people off.
Here's the thing: fat things are funny. And
Yeah.
People are too sensitive to accept that.
Fat people are funnier than skinny people.
Dude, Chris Farley, he's like the funniest guy ever.
Yeah. Imagine if he was skinny. Wouldn't work.
Wouldn't have worked. John Candy.
No. That one fluffy guy, who I don't think is that funny, but
I don't think
People
he's
like
that
him.
funny.
That
Dude,
girl
that
from,
was
from
funny.
Pitch Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Fat Amy.
She's actually not funny, but because she's fat, they accept her.
Well, she makes
Exactly.
fat jokes about herself.
Right.
That's funny.
Dude,
Her name's
Nate
Fat Amy, that's pretty
Bargatze.
funny.
Who? Yahtzee?
Nate Bargatze.
That an Indy car driver?
No, he's a comedian. Check him out.
Yahtzee.
Just check him out.
Nate got Yahtzee?
Nate Bargatze. He's super funny, dude.
Nate Bargatze.
Yeah.
You're just saying consonant sounds at us.
It does sound like an IndyCar driver though. I would have believed that.
Yeah,
Does.
definitely.
Or-
He's definitely
yeah,
an Italian Indy car driver.
There are no Italian IndyCar drivers.
Mario Andretti.
Formula One.
Formula. It sounds like Formula One. I agree. Mario Andretti hasn't been an IndyCar driver for a long time, but that's a good. I guess Marco Andretti,
Yeah,
He's from
Antonio Andretti, his grandson.
Pennsylvania.
Does that make him less Italian?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you take an Italian and a guy from Pennsylvania and compare them, you're gonna be like that. He's less Italian, at least less.
Probably.
So if I drove Indy, I wouldn't be like a Mexican IndyCar driver.
No, there's one. Patricio O'Ward.
Dude, here's the thing. I don't
Oh,
think
what?
anyone in Mexico has enough money to drive Indy.
Oh, what?
Son,
What's
dude,
his last
Canelo
name?
O'Ward.
That's not a Mexican name.
Dude, Canelo Alvarez has enough money to race a car, whatever he wants.
Yeah, because he made it boxing. Like, what we're saying is, like, I don't think there'll be a Mexican IndyCar driver.
All right,
ever.
Patricio O'Ward. He goes by Pato. Is that Mexican?
That's Duck, yes.
Yeah, duck
Hey,
sauce.
did you do the salsa?
Oh my gosh, are you gonna be able to see this?
Nope. That's very. Oh yes, that guy is.
That's Irish. He's
Irish.
Irish.
It says
for
it.
sure.
I'm showing you.
It says Irish.
Maybe his car. Is his car Mexican?
Yeah, it's a Mexican car. The guy's white. I thought that's what you meant.
You can't give a guy like a Mexican first name and be like, yeah, this guy's Mexican, even like, and then just keep his Irish last name.
He was born there. I don't know what to tell you. Also, I think I've told you this before, but if you go to Mexico City, half of those people looks like me.
Yeah, but their last name isn't O'Ward
You're right.
or O'Connor
Yeah.
or
There's probably
McGregor.
Alvarez or Rodriguez or Gonzalez.
Rios.
Dude, Dub, you know what's really cool that I respect a whole lot? Classic George is going to grow up and not be a racist.
Dude, I appreciate that.
I think.
I hope. We're hoping.
Sure.
Yeah, dude, that's one of the big reasons why I want to get him down to Mexico when he's like, how old will he be? Christmas 21. Just turned. He'll be 2.5. He'll be almost 2.5. And so he'll be like old enough to talk and like figure out what's going on, and like he'll be able to hear like, oh, that's another language, so it'll be good.
Yeah.
And I want to go
I
back.
hope George isn't racist.
Dude, George isn't
I'd
be
be upset.
racist, dude.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We hope he's not.
Well, me too.
Because that kind of stuff starts in the home.
Yeah, I don't think he will be.
Statistics tell me.
Can't take the heat. Get out of the kitchen.
That's one of the reasons that we don't want to live in Wyoming, even though I want to live in Wyoming. It's like it's harder to experience more than one type of culture there.
If you want to experience culture, move to Jacksonville.
Really?
Holy crap, dude. So Jacksonville is humongous, ginormous, bigger than my arms were spread out. And it's like, but it's weird because it's not like, it's like just really spread out. It's like not like densely populated, but there is all kinds of people here. It's just all over the place.
Is there a Chinatown?
I don't know. But it's also like really spread out. Like, it's not just like black people live here. It's like black people live here.
Right.
And like it's all spread out.
I want to live in the woods, but I want to be able to drive to a Chinatown. I feel like that's my criteria.
I feel, is there Chinatown like in? I feel like only really big cities have Chinatowns.
Yeah, definitely every major city has one.
Yeah,
New
maybe.
York,
Yeah.
Chicago, LA,
Seattle.
San Francisco, Seattle.
Houston probably has one. San
Oh, I'm
Antonio.
sure. Chicago probably
Yeah,
does.
there's probably one in Phoenix.
I don't think Phoenix has a Chinatown.
I bet there is.
I don't think there is. If you find one, let me know. We should go.
Okay.
I don't think there is.
I kind of want to look
Yeah,
it up,
dude,
but I feel bad because we're supposed to just guess.
Yeah, I love
Is Barry?
like
Did
other
Barry
cultures.
Google shame us?
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna.
Hashtag normalize Googling.
I'm not gonna Google shame you. I'm just.
No, he made a
Sorry,
good
Nick.
point.
I'm starting a hashtag. It's gonna say normalize Googling.
It's better content. It's better content if you don't look up anything and then never apologize for being wrong. So we'll just do that.
Well, that's what I do like in real life. But
I look up so
we
much
have
stuff. I love looking
technology.
up stuff.
Dude, here's the thing. Also, like, if I'm wrong, I will admit it. Like, if you tell me a fact and I'm like, that, no way, and then you're like, no, this is really a fact. I'm like, oh, okay, I was wrong.
I thought there was a lot of like knowledge to be learned in the world, you know, like, but we downloaded Wikipedia to take underway, and it was 60 gigs. All the information in the world, everything you need to know in the world is only 60 gigs.
No pictures
I can,
though. No pictures
I can
though.
definitely learn 60 gigs.
You should have, man. Where do you start though? Where do you
At
start?
the A's?
The A's?
Aardvark's probably the first entry.
No way, Aarons. Every Aaron that has ever existed.
Hey, Tito.
Yeah, but it's AARO and AARD comes first.
Dude, I didn't know Aardvark had 2 A's.
Me neither. You just
Did you ever watch Arthur?
Arthur the Aardvark, yes.
Yeah,
Every
So
day
there's a-
when
there's
I
an
walk
epi-
down the street.
jerk.
Yeah, there's an episode where he's in a spelling bee and he has a big list of words that he has to memorize. And the first word is aardvark, which he is an aardvark, by the way. And he makes a song and he sings AARDVARK. And after a week of studying, he just learned the first word. It's the only thing. And I don't
I know
remember
how to
what
spell
happens. Probably just-
difficulty. Thanks, Matilda.
I know how to spell Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, I know that one too.
Arthur. What?
I can spell Mississippi
Arthur's
forward
an
and backwards.
Aardvark?
Arthur's an aardvark, yeah. If
Dude,
you
I
if
don't
you-
think I.
If you look at the original book, the very first book, which I think is called Arthur's Eyes, 'cause I think it's about him getting glasses. No, Arthur's Nose. I'm looking at Jamie. She's doing. It's called Arthur's Nose. The very
I
first
didn't
book.
know there
He's
was
like a
books.
full aardvark with like the nose and everything.
I didn't
there
know
you
there
go.
was books.
That's what I thought an Aardvark was. But now
I
you're
knew he
telling
was
me
an Aardvark.
Arthur's one.
I'm looking it up.
I knew
I
he was
thought-
an aardvark. I didn't know there was books. I thought it was just a TV show.
Here's
Oh,
the
the
thing. He
books
doesn't
are
look like
first.
an Aardvark.
You're right. They trimmed him up, I guess, for the.
He's
He went-
rounded. They
They
rounded
went
him off.
mainstream.
He got circumcised.
Damn it. All right, here's the first ever Arthur book.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't
Yep,
read that.
Yeah,
But good call.
definitely. Yeah, if there was like any argument for or against circumcision, I am now for it, based on that picture.
Oh my gosh. And
Here's
then-
the thing about his sister DW. She sucks.
No, she's awesome. Dude, she's like
Why?
she's really funny. She's
I
really
like Pinky
sarcastic.
Barnes.
She has a dry sense of humor, and she's like 3 years old, and she's somehow like wicked smart.
That's true. Maybe Arthur sucks. Maybe I just
Yeah,
feel bad.
Arthur
for
sucks.
Arthur.
I
Arthur's
think
the worst.
Arthur sucks.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
they started trimming him up.
Dang, Hollywood gets to you.
I know.
Start getting your nose jobs. They don't stop.
Yeah, and then you know what he looks like now.
Yeah,
He
he's
does.
just
He
a
looks like a.
piece of paper now. They
I think
nose
he
shamed him.
just kind of looks like a bear, I guess. I don't know. They nose shamed him, and I'm pretty sure the entire first book was about not being ashamed of his nose. So chew on that.
I'm ashamed of my nose.
Why?
My dad would make fun of me because I had a big nose my whole life.
I've never. I don't. Maybe you do,
One
but
time-
I didn't think you had a big nose.
One time, my Thea's dog bit me on the nose, and it was like bleeding. Like I had like a gash right here from being bitten on the nose by a dog. And I went inside. And I'm like, the dog bit me on the nose, and my dad said, "Well, where do you expect him to bite you?"
Here's the thing. There's actually a thing to that as far as Mexico is concerned. The big nose, or if it's big, then they would like flatten it but still keep it big, is to make the head shape look like the head of a corn, or an ear of corn, I guess. But like to make a face, a head look like corn, if that makes any sense.
What do you mean they would do that? Who are you talking about?
Aztecs.
Should I flatten my nose?
They smash people's faces to look like corn?
Yeah,
That's
Is it like
wild.
the Chinese ladies with the feet thing?
yeah.
Because that's horrible.
So they would have like a face press, and then
Facebook. A Facebook?
yeah, like Facebook. They would take a book.
Dude, I feel like I want to look into this, but I feel like I don't want to.
Yeah,
I feel like I want to press my
I
nose.
took like a Mexican history class. It was actually really interesting. I loved it. Or actually, it was called The History of Latin America. Highly recommend it. Rio Hondo College, if you guys are ever in town.
Dude, let's go to Mexico.
I want to go.
I really
I want
want
to drive through it.
Yeah,
You guys should watch the Taco Chronicles on Netflix. I want to go to all those places.
I want to go to tiny little pueblos out in the middle of nowhere and like hang out there.
I'm on team both
My-
of those things.
My neighbors
Dude, let's go.
slash friends. My neighbors slash friends are also Mexican, and we're the only Mexicans in the neighborhood, which is pretty cool.
Here's the thing.
But he works with me. No, wait.
Sorry, I thought you were done. I thought it was just Mexicans in the neighborhood and we were done. Okay, go ahead.
He's from somewhere in Mexico, but his wife is from like a town of like 50 people in Mexico. That's like a street that goes this way and a street that goes this way, and that's the entire town.
That's what
And when they have like a wedding or like a quinceañera or something, they just have it in the streets outside. It's like the entire
Dude, that's
town
so
goes.
cool.
And they're from Chicago, and she had a quinceañera in Mexico, and I was like, wait, so none of your friends went? And they're like, nope, just all of my friends and family that I never really knew from home. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I want to go there.
Dude,
They just kill cows. That's nice.
Exactly. I want to slaughter a cow. Anyway, I speak enough Spanish that I could just get around down there. Okay. I feel
I can ride
like
around.
if you drop me anywhere in Mexico, except for maybe some of the, like the Yucatan, where it's like there's like a whole different thing going on down there, I could get around fine, right? But
If
if
you get
any,
decapitated by the cartel.
no, just what I'm saying is,
Not if you
If-
say no, gracias.
if we're driving through
Me
Mexico,
gusta.
though, it would be nice. It would be nice to have someone who speaks the language a little better than I do. So we should just all go for a road trip.
Yeah, I feel like whatever I don't know, Rios does, and whatever he doesn't know, I kind of do. And Marina
think that
definitely
would
knows
make
more
us-
than both of us.
Dude, I could blend in.
W would be the most, like, you'd be the target. You'd stick out, like, you'd be the tallest guy in all of
Dude,
Mexico.
we'd go to fun little places and eat good food, dude. We're not gonna get in trouble. There's no targeting happening.
Dude, here's the thing.
Mexico?
Yeah,
Not
dude.
just about Mexico. I'm like a mutt. I'm half and half Mexican, Salvadorian. I've been to El Salvador as a kid. It was cool. But now as like an adult, I'm kind of like scared to go.
Dude, let's go. Come
Salvador.
on.
To El Salvador. To El Salvador.
Yeah,
El
dude.
Salvador's crazy.
Let's go.
That's where MS-13's from. Have you not heard? what
I'm
people
not
say
saying
here
let's
about
go
MS-13?
find them. I'm not saying let's go find those guys, right? I'm just saying, like, you got to be able to go.
It's,
I want to go.
it's come to the point. Well, so
I want
like
to go to Costa Rica.
prior to the last 2 years, it had come to a point where like you don't actually know who's in charge there. Kind of like Africa, you know, like no one knows who's in charge of Africa.
Right.
Well, it's
but
a
like
continent.
the gangs and drug lords were basically the back money for the politicians and the government. So like they have control of, like armies and stuff, and which is really scary. But that started getting cleaned up within the last 2 years, and it's on an uphill climb right now.
Okay,
So once it
maybe,
gets better, definitely.
maybe El Salvador. Yeah, I see that. But like small town Mexico, dude, we could just run around down there and we wouldn't
I want to go to Mexico City.
be all right.
I
Yeah,
also want to
been
go
there.
Mexico City.
Fun fact. It's awesome.
And I want to go down further south and climb pyramids.
Dude, there's
Like
pyramids
the
in
Andes
Mexico City.
Mountains in
Yeah.
South America.
Incan pyramids?
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
There's
I want some
giant,
tacos.
ancient, lost civilization pyramids, like 45 minutes right outside of Mexico City. Dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude, I actually know a whole lot about those.
Dude, Teotihuacan.
Yes,
Yeah, I've been
Teo.
there.
it's on a north to south axis on purpose.
Oh, yeah?
I know that.
Fun fact.
Dude, they like don't even, well, the people named the Teotihuacans built it, right? But they don't know like anything about them.
They were prehistoric. Yeah, they were before they had written word. So,
Okay,
like,
I shouldn't say they don't know anything about
There
it.
was Teo, then like the Olmecs, and then the Mayans, and I think the Maya were the first one with a written language.
But like, even to
I
this
saw the
day,
road
with
to El
all
Dorado the
this,
other day.
you saw what?
The road to El Dorado?
There's a Jaguar involved.
Oh, Jaguars are big. Got to sacrifice for those?
Is that the you got the animated movie where they hit the floor and the dice don't change?
I don't know. I should watch it.
I have to go.
saw
I have to go soon.
To Mexico?
Well, yeah, but I have to
Buy a house.
sign paperwork. I was handed a note.
We need to sign paperwork for a house.
So
Dude, don't buy a house. It's the worst.
You've been listening to Meet Me at the Coffee Pot with Barry Rios and Dub.
This
Tune
stuff-
in next week.
Dude, this apartment is the worst. Hold on, Barry.
Yeah.
This house is actually really cool.
Can I go?
Please.
Wait, your house or your apartment?
In fact,
Apartment sucks, house cool.
Dude, Barry, you should come. You don't have any excuse, dude. You live like once.
I literally told you last week, Dub, do you want me to come? And you were like, I don't have a place to stay.
Oh yeah, you're right. I have a place. I hopefully, if this thing happens, I'll have a place to stay, and then you should come.
Well, here's the thing. Now I work for Jay Beezy's, and I don't know when he's going to let me go.
One
If,
day-
well, if I'm working from home, then the internet is literally everywhere but your house.
Except for where he lives.
I have internet.
Yeah, but you have to like plug it into the wall.
Yeah.
We have the web at my house, man. The World Wide Web. It all connects us all. I got it.
Yeah, but if someone uses the phone, then it's game over.
Well, you have to go through your cell phones and turn off all the Wi-Fi to make it actually work. But you only have one thing on at a time. All right. We should do this again next week because
So we'll do next week.
I don't think we talked about anything or accomplished anything today. So we're
No,
gonna
today was
We
very
talked about-
impressive.
We talked about typical coffee pot stuff, I thought.
That's
No,
true.
I thought so too. This is actually
got-
exact.
We basically got through a watch. I forgot to do my logs.
Oh, do them now.
Yeah, just do now, dude. It's same as last hour. It's always nothing's changing.
Next week, get some favorite sport teams ready so we can argue.
Okay, what are we gonna do? Just one league?
We should
Okay,
do one
it
sport at
might
a
be.
time.
It might be a little too. It might be. No, you're right. You're right. Never mind.
We shouldn't
Yeah,
do
we'll
all
that.
of them. There's too many teams. We have to pick.
I was gonna say it might be a little too much to do all the divisions in the NFL, but I was like, you wouldn't argue if you were just like, my one favorite team in this one league is this. You'd be like, okay.
No, I feel like NFL, you can pick a favorite team. I'm talking about like conferences in college, different soccer leagues.
Well, which one are we gonna do next week?
We should do soccer leagues since they're the only ones that are already playing.
Who's
They're pretty
playing?
much already over.
I got to pick a team then. I don't know who's playing soccer right now. The whole world except us?
Oh, City, I said. I didn't know. Okay, yeah.
Swansea.
I really want to hate Bayern Munich, but I like all their players. Boom.
Dude, save it
Come
for
on.
next week. Okay, next week
Yeah,
we'll
for
do.
sure. Boom.
Next week we'll do soccer leagues.
Cool.
But I think we should also have like the NFL ready just in case.
It starts. Well, what if baseball and basketball start?
Oh, we're just doing
Baseball is
teams.
starting
Well,
on
okay,
June
no, you're
26th.
right. If we're doing just things that are happening, we should do racing.
I don't know anything about racing.
I'll do
We're all,
racing.
we all go
Right.
to the same guy. You told
We'll
us
do
his
no.
name.
We should do racing, golfing, and soccer.
Okay. We'll do that, but I'm going to have like a
Or
list of
McElroy.
racers, and you have to tell me pros and cons of each one.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know who the pro
And then I'll
racers are.
decide by the end of the episode. Also, I'm going to live pick a favorite baseball team because I don't have one. So,
I don't have a favorite NFL
Dude,
team.
tweet that out. That's big. I've been waiting for this. Tweet that out, dude. Get on the account. You have the password.
all right. I'm actually logged in. I get notifications of things that I like all the time from that Twitter. It's horrible.
That's
So it's
annoying.
like, Elias Rios liked this tweet, and I'm like, I don't care.
You gotta turn that off, dude.
I tried. I don't know how.
There's a way to do it. All right, I have to go sign paperwork to become
All
a
right.
slave to a bank for the next like 30 years. So I'll talk to you guys
Yeah.
later.
All right, good luck buying your house.